my wife was really the one that pushed to become a model. She thought that would be so neat for me, and I was hesitant, but I was excited about the fact that that could be cool to feel like a, you know, a calendar model, and I joke with my friends and say, oh yeah, I'm going to do my photo shoot and I'm going to be a supermodel now. And so yeah, it was exciting and a little nervous about it, but it was very influential about my decision, with just seeing how good everyone looked and thinking, oh, if I can be made to look good too, then maybe that will inspire someone to say, oh, that's a positive thing that this person's doing to raise awareness.
Anna called me just kind of out of the blue earlier this year. Totally caught me off guard and just said, you know, we like your story. We know we didn't select you before. We're not accepting couples. This year we want to know if you'd be willing to be in it yourself. I just thought about it for a moment and said, yeah, definitely. You know, it's a great opportunity. I mean, up till this point, like I explained, pretty much all of everything that I've been doing has been reaching out and helping people that have been diagnosed with colon cancer, but I really hadn't done anything to raise awareness for colon cancer, to keep people from getting colon cancer, right? So I kind of looked at it like, here's the other half that I've been missing, you know, so it looked like a great opportunity for me. Got excited.
When I saw it, I thought, how absolutely cool is this? A calendar of people like me, people who were diagnosed with colorectal cancer before they were the typical age of 50. And I thought, wow, I would really like to be a part of that, because this is not only showing, you know, the strength and the beauty of these people, but this is a great way to raise awareness.
Shortly after I was diagnosed, I was looking online trying to get information, and one of the websites I found online was the Colon Club, and I was so excited to see that there was other young people that had been diagnosed with colon cancer, and of course one of the first things I looked at was the project, the Colondar, and I thought, this is so cool. And so I guess probably about 2 years ago, I had emailed to see about applying for the Colondar, and the application deadline had already passed. And Molly said that she would send me an application for the following year when applications went out. And so she did send me the application for 2009.
The Colondar was there, and so I picked one up and looked at it, and I went on the website and saw what they do and saw how and why it was developed, and I was just like, wow, this is great. Every time I talk about my experience, it's a little more healing for me. And I will talk a couple times a year to people about colon cancer, and I thought this was just one more way that I can continue to spread the word and get the word out there, because I truly feel if you're passionate about something, you need to share it.
I always wanted to do something to try to make a difference and turn it into something positive. And I feel by participating in the Colondar that I can maybe provide hope and inspiration to other people that are currently battling it, and just to educate the doctors and the general public that young people, young healthy people can get colon cancer, that it can happen to anyone.
I took that Colondar to the hospital and I hung it up. And not only was there, the month that I had it up was October, you know, but there was Hot Guys in there. And so we wanted to not necessarily put it on the month that it was, we just wanted to put it on Hot Guy. So we put up Hot Guys in order for me to look at and give me support. By looking and reading the Colondar and reading the bios of all these other colon cancer survivors, it gave me hope. It gave me inspiration, and it gave me that will to fight.
And so it took me, I guess this is my second year, so it took me it only took me like a day to figure out what was going on. But then you sort of forget. You totally forget. You're like, okay, all of this is because it's of colon cancer and it's all for that. But that goes out the window in the first 20 minutes. And it becomes just a weekend with fun people.
We're all strangers when we get here, but we're talking about the most intimate things, and we're helping each other.
My experience here this weekend, and you know, and the past few months of getting to know these other models or or whatever you want to call us, has just been overwhelming. I mean, we've all talked about our experiences and the drugs we had to take and our surgeries and our doctors.
It's funny because last night sitting around speaking with all these people, I forget so easily why we're all here. And when I remember, everyone sitting around me is here for the same reason. We're all here because we are colon cancer survivors. It's an incredible feeling because I really haven't spent much time talking about having been sick, having beaten this disease. As much as I want to talk about it, I never know. I'm not the type to, I don't know when you bring it up, so I never really get the opportunity to tell my story or to speak about it. So to be with a bunch of people that understand and to be able to share similar experiences is really incredible.
Just getting together with all these people and hearing all the stories and telling them my own stories, it's amazing. You know, there's lots of similarities, and it brings a lot of it back and makes it real, and a lot of differences too. And hearing people's stories, it's really amazing to hear what some of these people have gone through.
I feel like I knew some of the people already through our correspondence prior to this weekend. Everyone's been great. You definitely feel a bond right away with everyone because you know that they have experienced a lot of the same things that you have, and just talking with everyone, and it's just, you immediately feel that feeling of, oh, thank goodness you know what I'm talking about when I say how tired I was, or you know what I'm talking about when I say what issues you have with, you know, certain problems and certain discomforts that you go through. And it's hard to relate that to people that haven't gone through that, and you try not to because you feel like you're complaining, or you feel like you're telling your woe stories like, oh, I had cancer, and oh, it's so awful, and I don't want to be that person.
It was very awesome to see that there's a whole other group of people who have also been told, like, I've never seen this before, or this doesn't happen to people your age. And so to know there's other like young females like me out there that have heard the exact same thing, and we can swap our stories and not feel like such freaks, like, that's kind of nice.
To be involved with the Colondar and to interact with survivors has completely changed my life. I mean, we all have our story, and we all have things that have happened in our life, you know, deaths, losses, hard times, failures. But that has changed my life completely. Just to be around people who have figured life out, what's important, who is important to surround yourself with. I can't tell you the effect that the 2008 Colondar shoot had on me. I mean, when I went home and I was just a changed person.
I go back to my home, I go back to my life, I go back to my job from this weekend transformed.
I think if anything, if one person takes this advice and does something with it and they get saved, every hour that I've worked on this project, every minute, all the years I've worked on this project, it's worth it to me.
You hear stories about people that like go through disasters together in a lifeboat, you know, in like a building that's collapsed, and you know there's a group of people that are trapped and huddled together. It's that kind of survivor experience where in a short amount of time you feel like you just look into everybody else's soul.